everyone, and welcome to the Good Vibes Lifestyle live stream, coming to you live from North Carolina this week. And I'm Leslie Klein, your host of the show, and also the Good Vibes TV show. So, thank you so much for being here. I have some people watching, so that's so great. And please remember that you can comment. I can see your comments. Whoops. And respond, put them on the screen, and I am streaming to Instagram, my new thing. So if you ever need to, not sure how to get to me, go to good-vibes.tv. You'll find all my socials there and everything that you need to know about the hashtag Good Vibes Lifestyle, which is all about raising your vibration so you're living in the higher vibrations of love, peace, grace, gratitude, enlightenment, joy, all the good vibrations, all the higher frequencies, and the whole purpose of being in those higher vibe zones, the feel good zone that Abraham Hicks likes to talk about, the feel good zone, because where we're vibrating at is how we attract things to our life, the law of vibration. So, and I'm all about creating a movement where we remember to raise our vibration and live in that higher vibe zone so that we can create heaven on earth. It is possible. So, thank you so much for being here. And I'm so happy that you're here and just feeling joyful because, spring has sprung and here we are. So let's talk about the astrological news of what's happening. And, we are in, I like to talk about where the moon is. So the moon, we're in a waxing phase of the moon, meaning that it is growing all the way up till March 25th. In about, what is today? 4 days, we're going to have a full moon. And we just had the spring equinox just 2 days ago on Tuesday, the 19th, the spring equinox. So that's where we're entering the season of spring, and this is actually the astrological new year where Aries, the sun goes into the sign of Aries. So we're starting the 12-year zodiac cycle, and this is kind of like the solar year. So that just started. So we're in this, spring energy, and it's just so exciting. And I love being outside in nature. And I was going to broadcast from the garden, but decided not to, just because it's a lot to set up outside. But I'm in my regular studio right now, so we have more control over the sounds and the background noises and things like that. So spring is here. Welcome, spring. And, we're coming up on this, the full moon. And this time it's going to be a penumbral, I'm saying that wrong, penumbral, I think that's right, uh, full moon, meaning it's not going to be a total lunar eclipse. It's a penumbral lunar eclipse, meaning that the whole moon doesn't get covered. It's like a partial eclipse. But the lunar and solar eclipses come in pairs. So whenever you have one, you have another one in about 2 weeks. And what eclipses do, eclipses multiply or amplify the intensity of a new or full moon. So we've got this full moon coming up, and it is an exciting time. So the full moon is exactly happening at 3 a.m. on March 25th, 3 a.m. in the morning. But the lunar eclipse actually starts at 1 a.m. This is Eastern time because that's the time zone that I'm in. 1 o'clock to 5:30. It takes time for the shadow of the earth to cover the full moon, and that'll be happening overnight on the 25th. But you can always do any kind of rituals or manifestation rituals or intention setting or meditations, that evening of the full moon. You'll still be within that framework. And actually, any of the full moons, new moons, the portal is about 2 to 3 days prior, 2 to 3 days after. So we're actually coming into that energy in just a couple of days. So it is an exciting time. Uh, Things are just starting to grow. And I want to talk about a little bit about the Libra full moon. So The moon moves into each zodiac sign every 2.5 days, about. So every 2.5 days, it's going into a new sign. And so on the full moon, it'll be in the sign of Libra. Libra, if you may know or not know, the glyph for or the symbol for the sign of Libra are scales. So, and Libra has to do a lot with relationships. So, whenever there's a full moon, it's like a cosmic spotlight, that we're putting on a certain area of our life. And so that's why each full moon's a little different, besides the time of the year that it comes in. And this is known as the worm moon. If you talk to people who are into the almanac or the Indian traditions, Native First Peoples traditions, each moon of the year has a certain name, like there's snow moon, sturgeon moon, different things that related to what animals were showing themselves. So it's the activity of the worm in the garden makes total sense. And again, the exact full moon will happen at 3 a.m. that morning. But if you're going to stay up to watch the partial lunar eclipse, it'll start at 1 a.m. and go until 5:30 a.m. that day. So the full moon is like the midpoint in the whole lunar cycle, with the lunar cycle starting at the new moon, going to the full moon, and then waning back to the new moon again. So it's a great time to reflect on our accomplishments and actually celebrate them at the full moon. Full moon is usually when things are coming to a head, coming to a culmination. There's a lot of energy. But then when you add the eclipse to it, it's like a triple full moon. So just be aware of that. And that's why a lot of people like to work with the energies. And that's why I like to talk about the astrological news of what's going on in the cosmos, because I'm all about helping us to be aware that we're part of this great cosmic family. There are other entities and beings that are out there that are part of our star family, our cosmic family, and to kind of look up and be aware of this. So astrologers have been aware of the impacts of the energies of the different planets, different positions. Everything's always moving, so it's a great way to be in tune with these cycles, both on the earth and the cosmos. Of course, the cosmos influences the earth patterns and things like that. So there's a lot to it, but the main thing is be aware of it and do certain things like celebrate your accomplishments on the full moon, look at your intentions, look at your vision board. Sorry, I'm talking with the hands and hitting things. What other things do you like to do during the full moon? Let me ask you some questions because I love to get some engagement. I see a thumbs up. Thank you for that. But are there certain things that you like to do during the full moon? Some people like to put out their crystals or their crystal jewelry or intentions and put them out in the light of the full moon to charge them. So it's a great time to do that as well. And also, it's a great time to think about what it is that you want to release, because as soon as the full moon is over, then we get into the waning phase of the moon where the moon is reducing. And this is the better time to release things. So you can kind of plan, just like at the new moon, you're planning what intentions do I want to focus on for the next 2 weeks. And you celebrate them at the full moon. And then after that, then you integrate, harvest, um, uh, and also let go. If you're ever going to start a diet, it's great to do it in the waning time of the moon. You're letting go. If you start during the waxing phase of the moon, the new moon, you're starting a diet or new health practice. You want to phrase it not that I want to lose weight or let go of weight. You want to create a new dietary plan or new health project, that so it's the subtleties, and by working with the cycles of the moon and other planetary things. But the moon is so close, it does impact us, and it does affect our emotions as well. So think about, too, celebrate what you have to celebrate during this lunar eclipse, and also decide what am I going to let go of. And in the garden of in the garden, out in nature, this is a great time, or the time I find that, I'm clearing out uh, old twigs, old plants that have died and didn't make it through the winter. But what's wonderful, I have these beds of peppermint and different spearmint and other mints. And so they had all this dried plants that died. And I've been working on clearing those. So spring is a great time to get rid of the clutter in your house, in the garden, clear the area, prep it to plant the new things, and also, um, decide where you're going to be planting things. So I do have a comment from Bridget. And so here are some things that she does: moon gazing and burning a list to let go of old habits. So that's great, Bridget. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate you guys interacting with me, because I do have people watching live, and that's always great. I know a lot of people catch the replay, and that's great too, because you can still comment, and I will see those comments. All right, so that's the lunar eclipse happening on March 25th, just coming up next week. And then 2 weeks later, we've got the solar eclipse. And in the United States, this is a big deal. And I'm just starting to do some research on it, so I have some more information to share with you. But the main thing is it's happening on April 8th, and it's crossing the United States starting at 1:27 p.m. Central Time in Texas and going all the way up to Maine. And it'll be the solar eclipse happens there at 3:35 p.m. So in 2017, there was a great American eclipse that went the other way, I think from Oregon, Northwest area, I think down to towards Florida, but it did cross real close to Murphy, North Carolina, and we were able to see it. So it was a very cool, effect. So, this total, the path of totality, where it'll be, there's like it's 120-mile wide segment of the United States where the shadow of the moon will be happening, where it's a total lunar solar eclipse in that path. It's an X. So in 2017 it went one way, one line, and then this time in 2024 it's going the other way. And I think what I was reading the last time, or one of the times there was a solar eclipse like that, was in 1776, which is of course when we declared our independence from England. And so there's so much going on in the United States. And, I see the United States as, we have this concept of democracy, this concept of freedom to be and express ourselves on whatever level. And, I really do feel so blessed to live in this country. I mean, yes, we have many, many faults, but the premise, and we're such a young country too, the premise of, individual freedoms and rights and all of these things are so sacred. And we fall short so much of the time of these principles, but we do get the opportunity in each election process to try to get people in there that are more in tune with the original goals of the United States and when we were first created. So, I think it's up to each individual person, and I'll talk more about this later when I talk about voting. But it's so important, to be part of it. A lot of countries, your vote doesn't matter, or you can't vote, or it's rigged elections and things like that. But in our country, it's not. And really, not, I don't know what the percentage is, but I think it's less than 50% of the country votes. So it's so important to, take the action and vote. If you've never voted in your life before, do it. It's a great exercise, and you'll feel really good. You'll feel really empowered. And, if you're in the higher vibrations, you are the kind of person that needs to vote, so we can get people in there that are attuned to the higher vibrations of peace, love, harmony, individual rights, etc., etc. So with this eclipse happening, it's happening, this big X happening right over the United States. So I'm sure there are implications there. I haven't dug into it that much, but so they're calling it the Great American eclipse, and it's going to be really interesting as how it manifests for us, and just what will come from it. A lot of it is what we make of it. So just be aware. And let's see, do I have anything else? So that was a little bit about the lunar eclipse. Let me go back to the full moon, which is coming up on the 25th, because I didn't mention that Libra, it's in the sign of Libra. This is the full moon happening on the 25th of March. So Libra has to do with balance, especially in relationships. So the moon is in the sign of Libra, and it's always that opposite to the moon is the sun, right? So the Earth is in the middle, the sun's over here, the moon's over here, right? And the sun is in the sign of Aries, and that just started on March 19th when we started the spring spring equinox and the beginning of the new year, new astrological year. So it's about balancing these two energies, right? So Aries, what is Aries all about? Aries is about independence and moving forward, and has lots of energy to start things, new things. So we have this balance of Libra, which has to do with relationships and balance, and then also in empathy, right? But also on the other end of it spectrum is Aries. So we have this tug of war kind of between these two. And let me share with you one of these astrologers that I follow on YouTube. Her name is Alina, and she has these prompts, these journal prompts that you can use. Let's see, we have another recline. All right. So Alina Alive. You can check her out, but she has these prompts, so I wanted to give her credit. These are journal prompts that you can use and do this during the full moon and whenever it's convenient for you. A couple days before, a couple days after, during the exact full moon is great, but you're still within that energy. So here are the journal prompts that you can use, and you can always rewind this video and write these down. But these are great journal prompts that you can use during this energy of the Libra full moon. And it is, what unique needs do you have that are different from your closest loved ones? And how are you meeting those unique needs? The next journal prompt she has is, when you think of the safest, most supportive relationships you've experienced, who first comes to mind? And in what ways can you continue to foster that and future relationships like it? And here's her third journal prompt. Is there anything that you're ready to release during this full moon? And that ties to what Bridget was saying about letting go of things during the full moon. And so this can look like limiting beliefs, habits, limiting patterns, people, or environments that no longer serve you. And we're always in this process of it's not always gaining. We have to let go of so we make room for new stuff. So whether you're talking about your wardrobe or your, mental clutter, what's going on in your mind, we're always in this process of releasing, letting go, so we can create room for the new. So check that out. Let me know how you like these journal prompts to see if this is something you'd like me to continue whenever there's a full moon. I'll be happy to share that with you. So that's the astrological news that I have for you right now. And let's switch over to the cosmic family, the UFO UAP disclosure arena. So what's going on lately, and actually today, I'm going to share my screen here. Chuck Schumer was the person that, let's see, let me make this bigger. This is from a press release from the New Paradigm Institute. And there's just today from 12 to 2 today, they were doing a disclosure rally in New York City right by Senator Chuck Schumer's office from 12 to 2. So if you get involved with a New Paradigm Institute, you'll learn about different things that you can do. This is an organization that is pushing or holding accountability to the government. So Chuck Schumer, he's been doing a lot of the advocacy for this. And I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. I'm going to read you some of this press release. So they had a rally today from 12 to 2. Of course, I'm not in New York City, so I didn't see it, but I think they'll be doing these all around the country. And the purpose of these different rallies is to gain awareness, but also to get the government to hold more congressional hearings on, I'm saying healings, but it's hearings. But I guess it's a way to heal the situation with the UAPs. So they're appreciating Chuck Schumer's leadership in UAP transparency and demanding more congressional hearings with whistleblowers. So the Citizens for Disclosure Now, they held this rally today. And one of the people that is organizing this Osvaldo Franco says the next great civil rights movement is the right to know. The right to know what's out there, what opportunities, what mysteries, and what this knowledge means for our destiny as a species. So, disclosure, the New Paradigm Institute, it's a grassroots organization and it's free to join. And I'm going to play you something, but let me let you educate you a little bit more about Chuck Schumer and what he did. So he was instrumental in co-sponsoring the UAP Disclosure Act, which is a bipartisan amendment to the fiscal year 2024 National Defense Authorization Act. His amendment would have enacted a controlled disclosure campaign plan under which our government would have revealed to the public as much as possible about what the government knows about the UAP phenomenon without jeopardizing national security. Unfortunately, much of the bipartisan UAP Disclosure Act was removed from the final legislation, but not to worry, because the way it works, then they'll bring it again this next season and add those things back to it. So this is just the process of our government. And I just read you what this Osvaldo Franco said. So, yeah, the UAP disclosure, is something that I think is really important. I think that we are in a process of shifting our worldview from a global worldview to a cosmic worldview. And there are many reasons for this. I've been playing some of the promos that the New Paradigm Institute puts out, and I do want to share this with you. So I'm going to do that as I go through there. I don't know, 6 or 7 of them. So check this out.
Government says UFOs are interfering with our military, impacting our training and readiness. U.S. military pilots have reported encounters with craft of unknown origin. But the government won't tell us what they know. Go to newparadigminstitute.org, take action, and demand Congress hold hearings. It's time for the truth.
So, yes, it is. And, enough lies already. It's time for the truth. And if you want to be part of this organization, just go to newparadigminstitute.org and you can sign up, and you can, they have one of those websites where you fill out your information. They tell you which congressional people represent you, and then you can send a letter to them requesting disclosure. So this is something I think we need to stay on top of, because like last week I talked to you about the Arrow office and how the Arrow is under the Pentagon, and Sean Kirkpatrick, and how basically they are not following what the law is saying, the legislation, to by October to have all of the data that the government has regarding UFOs and UAPs online. And I showed you the website last week where they're supposed to be putting this repository. But I can also tell you that Dr. Stephen Greer, if you go to his website, he also has a repository of tons and tons. I think it's like over a terabyte of data of different UFOs and UAPs and things like that. So just important to be aware of, or at least I feel that it's important to be aware of this. So I do want to shift now to voting. Of course, you might have had a primary, but the big election is in November. And if you're not sure if you are registered to vote or where to go vote, or if you want to get an absentee ballot, go to vote.org and you can update all your information. And like I talked about earlier, it is important, to use our power to empower ourselves. We have the opportunity to vote. Whether or not you think your vote counts, it does count. And the more of us that vote, the better. So don't be discouraged because that's what they want. The powers that be don't want you voting. But take advantage of your American right. And I want to share with you Marianne Williamson. Of course, Joe Biden has gotten the Democratic candidacy, but Marianne Williamson is still on the campaign trail, making people aware of what's going on with our government. And, this whole thing about disclosure and truth, we need to shine a light on what's going on in the world and get to the truth. Enough of these lies. We need the truth. And here's a little clip from her sharing what she's up to. So I want to share this with you.
Well, with his win in Georgia tonight, the president has won the Democratic nomination for the presidency. I congratulate him, but I'm not doing the performative, oh, now let's endorse the president and let's go beat Donald Trump in 2024. I won't do it. I know too much, and I've seen too much. I'm going to continue. I will be on the road. I'm on my way to Chicago. I'm on my way to Louisiana. I'm on my way to Arizona. I'm on my way to New York. Because the things that this campaign has been talking about and that I will continue to talk about are the things that will actually defeat Donald Trump in 2024. The Democratic establishment doesn't seem to have any clue what's really going on in this country. We are at such risk of losing to Donald Trump in 2024, not because of people voting for Trump, but because of people staying home, people voting for Bobby Kennedy, people voting for Cornel West, people voting for Jill Stein, because people have had it. People in the United States do not have health care. People in the United States do not have tuition-free college and tech school, both of which a majority of Republicans as well as Democrats want, and which are afforded to the citizens of every other advanced democracy. People in this country need child care, subsidized child care, and paid family leave universally, not just talking about it. The people of this country want to ramp down, not ramp up fossil fuel extraction. People in this country want guaranteed sick pay, guaranteed living wage. People in this country want to repudiate the forever war machine. People in this country want to face what's really going on in this country. My campaign has always addressed the ubiquitous despair of so many people in this country. And that is why the political media industrial complex peripheralized, invisibilized, and erased my candidacy. Well, I know I'm supposed to be a really nice girl now and say, well, it was just great to be part of this and thank you so much. No. Believe me. If the Democratic establishment does not hear what I am saying now, they sure will hear it in November because it will be expressed by the electorate. So I'm continuing, and I hope that you will show up to vote for me. Because remember still, if I can get enough votes to get delegates and to get at the convention, then we can wield influence. Perhaps we can be on the platform, part of the conversation, and hopefully President Biden himself will hear us. Somebody over in the Biden administration is listening to me because I hear so many of my lines, even in the State of the Union. So we need to offer the American people Medicare for all. Got that, guys? We need to offer the American people tuition-free college and tech school. We need to offer the American people subsidized child care. We need to offer the American people guaranteed sick pay. We need to offer the American people a jobs guarantee and a guaranteed living wage. When you have 39% of Americans saying that they are skipping their meals regularly in order to pay their rent, when 70% of Americans say they're living with chronic economic anxiety, when half of America's renters cannot afford their rent, no, it's not enough to just try to make some things better. No. Just making some things better will not win it for the Democrats in 2024. The agenda you gave us at the State of the Union, guys, congratulations on the fact that the president was able to deliver it well, but in terms of the content of the conversation, that's not enough. I'm not the enemy. Don't shoot the messenger here. I'm telling you, we have to offer the American people a whole lot more if the Democrats are going to win in 2024. That's why I'm going to continue in the race. I hope all of you will go to marianne2024.com and show up to vote for me in the primary. The more we get with every vote, that can lead to influence. It can lead to leverage of some kind. It can hopefully convince some people who can make a difference that we're going to have to offer the American people so much more if we're going to win in 2024. Otherwise, this is going to be like 2016. So I think I'm the one here saying, oh my God, don't you understand? The fascists are at the door. Don't throw that back at me. Williamson, shut up now. The fascists are at the door. I think Williamson needs to speak even louder because the fascists are at the door. And that's what I'll be doing for the rest of this primary season. I hope you'll vote for me. The president has the nomination, but we have the truth in our hearts on a level that is not currently being addressed by the Democratic establishment. Let's make some noise. We're the ones making the good trouble. We're the ones speaking the deeper truth of the heart, speaking to the yearning and also speaking to the suffering of so many millions of Americans. This is not the time to stop. Thanks so much.
So there you have it from Marianne Williamson. And again, just vote. So enough with that, and let's switch over to the Oracle of the Month. Now, the Oracle that we have been working with is the Mystic Shaman Oracle by Alberto Villoldo, Colette Baron Reed, and Marcela Lobos. And very cool. It's a pocket. Sized deck. And this deck is available in the large form as well, but I really like how it sits in my hands. So let's now ask Spirit for a message right now. What message can we get from Spirit right now? What is it that Spirit wants us to know right now, whether you're watching it live or watching the replay or watching it later at another time? So what message does Spirit have for us? The moon. There we go. The moon. How interesting is that? Because I've been talking a lot about the moon because we've got this lunar eclipse happening. So, page 37. Let's see what this message is about the moon from this deck. Okay. The essence. Every 28 days, the moon manifests a steady progression from darkness to light, and then back again. This phenomenon in our skies has a powerful impact on our human psyches. It offers us the certainty that after periods of emptiness and darkness, there is a light waiting, so we can be reborn into a new phase. This calls to mind a native African prayer to the moon. May our lives be renewed as yours is. The moon also has a strong influence on the ebb and flow of waters on the earth. The same power, in turn, affects human feelings and emotions and mirrors their rising from our hiding back into the unconscious. And here's the invitation. The moon spends equal time in the dark as it does in the light of the sun. And now it comes to remind you of this balance. Have you been too focused on outer achievements, productivity, or social engagements? Or have you spent too much time hidden from the outer world, not wanting to interact or show your face? Meditate on the significance of the moon's cycle and let it gently guide you out of your bottomless depths. Head back to the world of outer expression and connection with others. Let it help you make time for yourself, your feelings, and your essential human and spiritual needs. Very, very interesting. Now, there's a little section that you read when it's reversed. I think I pulled it right side up, but I'll read this to you anyway, just in case it has meaning for you. When this card's reversed, this card calls you to go on a journey of renewal, just like the moon does every month. So you can get unstuck, whether from a specific situation or life in general. For this, you need to make time to be with yourself without the distractions of modern society, and have the courage to look at the unwanted or unembraced parts of your being until you arrive at a place of resolution. Shamanic lore explains that the finest treasures of humanity are hidden where people are most afraid to go. Very interesting, especially since it's a Libra moon, which has to do with relationships, like we talked about earlier. So I hope you maybe use those journal prompts and really get into the energy of this Libra full moon that's happening on the 25th of March. So, and if you like this deck, you can shop my Amazon store and just go to good-vibes.tv for that. And also at the Amazon store, you can check out the Art of Connection book. I'm so happy to be part of this book. Here's the whole, it's a huge book. Now you can get, so sorry, I have a virtual screen, so anything that's green does kind of, my background shows through on it. But you can see the picture on there. That's what the book looks like. I just wanted you to see how big it was. So, and since this is a great book, so every day there's a gratitude quote from a different person. And let's look at March 25th, which is today's quote. This is Mary Lynn, how do you say her last name? Ilnitsky. And this is her quote: Make expressing gratitude for how the universe works for you a habit. And here's her thought, and I'll read this to you because I read it earlier and I think it has some good stuff for us. So, what she says: Have you ever looked up in the air and asked the universe for something? And when it comes to you, do you express your gratitude? She says, I used to thank and ask the universe for more clients routinely, but then life changed and I got out of the habit. Guess what? The clients don't come as easily as they did before. Habits are loops, and forming a new habit takes practice. Part one of the habit loop is a cue. This triggers the next step, a routine, which leads to a reward. The brain really likes rewards, so it remembers the cue and it becomes a loop that will start over again. In my world, I help people look and feel confident. I teach people how to use their appearance as a communication tool. I help them define their personal style and build a wardrobe that reflects that. My gratitude loop looks like this: cue, looking up in the air; routine, thanking the universe for the people that have come my way and how I have been able to help them, and please send more. And the reward is often more people or more opportunities to feel that sense of value, of being able to make a positive difference in someone's life. So her question, each page has a question, so you can kind of integrate the information. And her question is, what are you going to ask the universe for to build your gratitude habit? And so this is Mary Lynn Elnitsky, and she's the founder of Get Dressed on Purpose. So great resource for connecting with many, many different people. And I did write a chapter in there, and you met my sister last week. She wrote a page in there as well. So it's a great resource. And what's really cool, there's a special price for the hardcover book, not hardcover, the paperback book, the physical book, $16.99 until March 31st. After that, it goes to $26.99. And the best way that you can go to my Amazon store or use this link, I'll put it in the description below. It's just tinyurl.com/capital GVTV, then gratitude book. And you can choose the e-book version, the Kindle version for $3.99, or get the full paperback, which it's meant to be like a coffee table book. So it's something that you look at each day, and it's a great resource. So I just want to share that with you because I'm really excited about being part of this book. And the next one that they have coming out will be on abundance, and I more than likely will be in that one too. So last week you met my sister who's in this book. She talked about JSJ, and I did forget to share the tip of the week last week. So I will share it this week. So last week's tip, which I forgot to mention, was to practice JSJ or Jinshin Jitsu. So check out last week's episode to learn what that is. And basically, it's holding your fingers. Bridget talked about how each finger represents a different emotion in the body. And by holding the fingers 1 to 3 minutes, you can balance your whole system. So check that out from last week's, or you can even go to Good Vibes TV in one of the early, I think episode 4 of the first season. I did a whole show on JSJ with Bridget. So check that out. Now this week's tip is to practice EFT or emotional freedom technique, which is also known as tapping. And the way you can do that, I my newest show on Good Vibes TV is with Catherine Samultanos, who has Lotus Path Healing. And if you go 24 minutes into the episode, there's a whole like 12 minutes of EFT, which is the tapping, um, different parts, but you're saying things too. So check out that at good-vibes.tv, or you could go directly to the website. It's at Raise Your Vibe and Thrive on YouTube. But I just want to share that as the tip. And I use EFT and JSJ, all these different techniques at different times. And these are all great ways to raise your vibration, which is what this show is all about. So I want to encourage you to live the good vibes lifestyle. And, that's what the show is all about. So I hope you receive some good tips and encouragement and inspiration to live your best life. And I want to thank you for watching. I don't see any other comments. So if you want to comment real quick, oh, I do see one that the old hubby said. So let's share. So he says, I may have missed it. Are we going to see the eclipse in Murphy, North Carolina? Well, we haven't talked about it much, but we were here in 2017 when we saw the total lunar eclipse. We were in the path of totality here in Murphy. It was very cool. Well, we will not be in the total path of totality in Murphy. We'd have to go drive towards Tennessee to do that, but I think we'll see 80%. So more than likely, we will be doing that, just watching it from our house on April 8th. Yes, big day that day. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. I hope you got some value from this. If you did, like, share, subscribe. I'm so excited. I've got 112 subscribers on YouTube. I know it doesn't sound like a lot. My first goal is to get to 1,000. So if you want to share, express appreciation for any of the content that I do, just share, like, subscribe, help me to get those numbers up. On social media, between all the Facebook and Twitter and all these things, I have over 12,000 people, friends or whatever. But I'm building my YouTube channel. So please, if you haven't subscribed to that already, please do share it with others. If you think that, or you find value from this and you have friends that can get something from this, and just share it and help me grow this to help everyone raise their vibration so they can thrive. All right, everyone, peace out. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next time.